All right, so let's talk about our first lesson. I want to teach you something that is kind of cool in photography. You've probably never seen this before. And if you have, then I'm pretty shocked and pretty amazed at the same time that you have. But there's this concept in photography and cinematography and with movies and everything associated with photography. I want to show you this, and that is it's called rule of thirds. Of thirds. Now, you've been viewing things with the rule of thirds in play and not even known it. But once I show you this, it's kind of like that scene. I don't know if you've ever seen the old Wizard of Oz movie where they look behind the curtain and the wizard actually is right there and he's making all the cool stuff happen. And you're like, what? I thought it was just really cool. No, actually, there's photographers that are making your brains really enjoy the visual aspects of photography and cinematography. And the reason why is because they know how our brains kind of are working. And so they came up with this idea called the rule of thirds. And I want to show you what this means because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, with the rule of thirds, what we've done is we've created lines down the center. Well, I guess you could say left third and right third. What am I talking about? The left third and right third of the screen. So in other words, we have cut this section here all the way down to a third, like you can see, all of that. This is 1/3 section here. Then we've cut it with a line to make another section here, one all the way through here. That's another third. And then there's a third, which is the section over here. So now we've created another third over here. So we've created 3 different sections of equal parts. So there's a third, and then there's one more third right here in the middle that we have right there. And you're going, okay, what does that have to do? Well, this line right here is what's creating that thirds. So we drew a line right down this section here and a line right down this section here. And then we did it again. We drew a line across these sections here and across this section here. And we created another third all the way across here. And we've created another third up here. And you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is crazy. We have created thirds across both vertically and horizontally. So again, here's another third here. This is another third across here and another third across here. So we've created what's called the rule of thirds. This came from this really crazy thing that we did, which is when we took pictures and put them in front of people, we noticed that 41% of the people or users, they actually stare here the longest, right there. Whoops, I'm going to go back. They actually stare there the longest, which is so crazy. Right here, the longest. Then 20% stared here the longest. 14% stared here, 25% stared here. And we tracked their eyes and where they looked on pictures. And so when we did that, we said, well, let's create a crosshairs right here, crosshairs right here, a crosshairs right here, crosshairs right here, and then let's connect those. And now we've got those drawn thirds like this. And we created this rule of thirds. Now, typically when we take pictures, we'll take pictures like this. We'll put the subject right in the center because we're thinking, well, the main focus is this subject right here. But remember, 40% of what we're viewing is actually viewed right here and right here. And so your eyes start to look around. And when you're viewing up here, there's nothing exciting. So you start to trail off and you start to view other things. And pretty soon you're filling and going, what's going on back here? And what's this thing about over here? And the whole point is you wanted this person to be the main center, but it doesn't frame it in your mind. It's kind of not what your brain would say a good picture. Here's another example. This is a student taking a picture. And you're like, okay, if I did that again, 40% would come right here. And then 40%. Oh, my touchy pen's being weird. 40% would be right here. Another 40% right here. Another 40% right here. Or 20%. And as I cut this thing in thirds, you'd go, well, what they did is they basically just put this kid right in the center. That's what they did. They put this kid right in the center. And that's what we normally naturally do. Now, this one, however, is different. We've put a little shift to this. And now, instead of putting this guy on the center, we actually took that thirds line here and we drew the thirds line so that, check it out, his face is actually intersecting along those thirds line. And now it just, for some reason, your brain goes, that's a better picture. There's an alignment that happens. Remember, 20% of our eyes will look right here and focus longest. Here's another example. Taking a picture of this cute little baby. Oh, put the baby's face right in the middle. Sure, you can do that. But in rule of thirds, what we do is we align this thing. And so if I want you to focus on that sweet little baby face, I'm going to move it just a slight bit because 40% of you are going to view this part longer. And so I'm going to put that sweet face right in this section right here of that 40% longer. Here's another example. Here's a boat right in the center in the top left-hand corner. When this boat is in the center, it looks cool. There's not a bad shot, but here it is. However, if I orchestrate my lens and I put that boat in the top left-hand corner and I take those lines away, you're going to think in your brain, oh, I don't like this one as much. I'm actually kind of more into this one right here. And it's going to change the way that goes.